What's up, everybody? It's Hank here with Break MMA. Very happy for my guest today. I've had a lot of MMA fighters on here, professional fighters, Elias Theodoro, Eric Anders, Jason Knight, a whole bunch of professional MMA fighters for the UFC and Bellator. But I like it when I can get an amateur fighter on here because they seem more hungry. You know, it's like they got more to prove. They're not making that money yet. They're not at that point yet to where the world knows me. They're more hungry. Very, very happy to talk with my guest today. Ian, you'll know him on Twitter as simply number one.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing today so far?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I already got up and cooked me some breakfast, and it's really cold here. Is it cold where you are?
Yeah, it's cold here in Indy for sure.
Yeah, I'm out in Tennessee, down south.
Nice. I got a couple buddies down there.
Yeah, I love it here. I hate it the wintertime, though. It's cold as shit.
Is it?
Oh, cold and windy and leaves. I've got 15 piles of leaves 5 foot high in my front yard from raking so much damn leaves.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I hate it. But you are a amateur MMA fighter with a undefeated professional or undefeated amateur record, correct?
Yes, sir. 5-0.
5-0. Is it like five? What is it? 2 knockouts, 3. Well, what is it?
I have 2 first-round submissions and 3 decisions.
So for you, it's kind of what's your bread and butter? Like if in training, a lot of people do pad work, mitt work, conditioning, obviously. But when you walk in the morning, do you go, okay, I want to do jiu-jitsu, I want to kickbox? Your style, what's your style? Are you preferably a kickboxer, a jiu-jitsu? Do you overall everything? What's your best?
Yeah, man. So I've been doing this a long time. I'm 22 years old now. I've been in some sort of form of martial arts since I was 12 years old. I started off with judo, worked my way to jiu-jitsu, and then found my way into wrestling. And from there, it just took off, and then I went full-blown MMA after that. Like I said, my bread and butter is definitely my groundwork. I'm the slickest on the ground. I'm a purple belt under Jay Watkins, who's a brown belt under Eddie Bravo in the 10th Planet system. I'm an orange belt under Professor Dwayne Ludwig in the Bang Muay Thai system.
Ooh.
So, yeah. I actually got belted by Dwayne himself. I'm comfortable everywhere. That's my biggest attribute, I believe, is no matter where it goes, I'm comfortable for sure. I'm relaxed. I'm composed. You know what I mean? If the guy happens to be a better wrestler than me and gets on top of me, I'm straight down there. Good luck dealing with my guard. I feel like I have one of the nastiest guards in the United States right now, even at an amateur level, let alone pro. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, I was just talking with Eddie Bravo a few weeks ago. He was in town for a seminar at our gym, and I was letting him know, I've been watching his EBI combat jiu-jitsu stuff, and there's guys I know I'd roll up right now as humbly as possible. You know what I mean? I'm comfortable everywhere.
What's your 2 submissions? Is it like 2 rear naked chokes, 2?
I have a first round armbar, and then I have a first round triangle.
Triangle choke. So Eddie Bravo, when you mention Eddie Bravo, instantly, I mean, when you think of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, there's a few names that stick out. Rickson Gracie, the Gracies, Gary Tonin.
Yeah, Machado, Danaher.
Eddie Bravo. And in my opinion, 10th Planet is probably the best. I mean, Danaher Death Squad is kind of, are they intertwined with 10th Planet, or is it two separate?
No. 2 different styles, man. With the Danaher's system, Danaher's system is a system borrowed through, Danaher got his black belt through Henzo and a couple other guys. Danaher's system's great, you know what I mean? It's just a little different. I don't think the 2 systems I don't believe can be compared. Very different systems. But 10th Planet, man, it's a whole different thing. Eddie designed 10th Planet for MMA. You know what I mean? Literally went through and designed a jiu-jitsu game for MMA and MMA gloves. And it's just, I truly believe we are the best system in the world. And, it shows, man. We got guys coming up from all over the place that are going to be making waves. And we already got guys on top. You know what I mean? Kevin Gastelum's fighting for a title. We got Tony Ferguson, should be the champ.
Beast.
You know what I mean? We got a lot, then Cheeto Vera. We got lots of guys coming up, and, I'm on that wave too. I let Eddie know. I said, I'm right there behind him. You know what I mean?
So you mentioned Dwayne Ludwig, and there's a couple of MMA coaches I've mentioned that my favorite MMA coaches are Jason Perillo.
Amazing.
And who's Justin Gaethje's coach?
Sam, Trevor
Yeah,
Whitman,
Trevor Whitman and Justin.
who is Dwayne Ludwig's coach.
Yeah, Trevor Whitman and Jason Perillo have always been my number two. But right up in there, and a lot of people sleep on him, is Dwayne Ludwig. Great coach. What he's done with TJ. Yeah. Do you train a lot with TJ? Do you spend time with TJ?
So I actually just got back from a seminar with TJ Pettis and Shorty Torres back in, it was a couple months ago now. I don't know him like personally on a personal level. Like if he sees me, he knows who I am, kind of thing.
Right.
I've been to HQ, and I went to a seminar in Chicago. I've trained with him a little bit there. When I was at HQ last time, he wasn't there, so I didn't see him then. But there was other guys there. You know what I mean? There was Juan there from Bellator. There was, there's always high level caliber guys at Professor Ludwig's. On any given day.
I just had Jose Shorty Torres on the podcast a couple days ago.
That's my man. I love Shorty.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
I had a good conversation with him. I forgot to ask you what weight class. What weight class do you fight?
I fight at 170 pounds. I don't cut a lot of weight for that, especially amateur. No need to kill myself. Right. You know what I mean? But I do believe I believe, in my career, before my career is over, I'll have fights contested at 155, 170, and potentially 185 pounds.
So that puts you right in the mix with a Justin Gaethje, with a Conor McGregor,
Oh, yeah.
You're an amateur, so it's kind of hard to rate it. But like you're a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. You know what you're doing. You've done this for a long time. Have you ever had any contact from Bellator? Have you maybe sent them a message? Tried to reach out to them? Because we talked a little bit before we went live that you're not really under contract. You could get signed anywhere. You're a free agent. So, and that's actually better nowadays being a free agent because people, you see how many people want you. But how do you go about promotions getting you? Do you reach out to them or do they reach out to you?
So as of right now, I just keep winning. You know what I mean? I'm not too focused.
Which is the best way.
No. So with me, man, I understand this game. You know what I mean? I'm lucky enough. I've been watching this whole game evolve since I was, 12, 10 years old. I've seen what it takes. You can't just win anymore. We're entertainers. And Dana White is said promoter. But guess what? They have over 600 guys under contract. How is Dana White going to promote every single guy? No, it's not like that anymore. This is a new day and age. We are not only sports. We are not only athletes. This is not only a sport. We're entertainers. So you have to be your own character. You have to talk. You have to get noticed and then get paid and still fight. So not only do you have to walk the walk nowadays, but you also have to talk the talk and walk the walk. So I've already understood that. And I mean, if you look at my Twitter, I'm always vocal. I'm always letting people know what's next. I'm always letting them know that I am going to be here because I know how hard I'm working, and I know no one's working this hard. And I know through hard work, it's only a matter of time. It's not if, it's when. You know what I mean?
That's why I reached out to you. I looked up at your Twitter, and I was like, this guy just oozes confidence. You can the way you talk and just talking to you right now. This is our first ever actual conversation, but you can just tell. It's like you can just tell with some people. Mean every word they say.
Yeah. And I mean, I have not changed this tune since I was 12 years old. I mean, literally, in high school, you can ask any, I have high school teachers that literally will say, on homework pieces of paper I wrote, Ian Pomfret, future UFC champ. On every paper. Literally. I'd have notebooks with that just written everywhere on it. I'm practicing my signature. This isn't the dream, this is the truth, and it's just when I do it. You know what I mean? I've reached out. I get guys from Bellator talking shit to me. I remember when CM Punk was talking about doing another fight before they announced it was Mike the True Jackson. I was tweeting crazy to Dana. I was like, dude, I'll donate every dollar you try to pay me to a charity of your choice.
I've seen that.
Let me fight him. Let me shut him up. You know what I mean? I just want to do it for the principle. I don't even want the money. Give me the stage. Let me donate the money, and let me show him why. I was a 2-0 amateur at the time, I believe. He was a 0-1 pro. It made sense. Why feed him to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's basically an amateur anyway. Let's fucking, or even in the Contender Series something. I was begging. And one of CM Punk's teammates that trains at Rufus Sports saw it, and he's a middleweight in Bellator. So he started tweeting at me, talking cash shit, saying like, well, why don't you fight me, blah, blah, blah. Come over to Bellator. And I was like, homie, I would walk around at a $175. You know what I mean? Like $180 tops on a good day. Like
Yeah.
you're trying to get me to. You're cutting from 205 to make middleweight. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
like, get someone else from your team that wants to fight. Tell Bellator to call me. You know what I mean? 170, 155. What's up? I was like, I don't give. I told Scott. I tweeted at Bellator. I was like, I'll fight him too. You know what I mean? Just give me the stage. I'm not afraid of anybody. You know what I mean? I'm going to get beat up. I already know that. That's the best part about this. I know I'm going to lose. But who cares? Because people get so caught up on this record bullshit in this game. Dude, a loss will be the best thing to ever happen to me. Just no one's been able to do it yet.
Right.
Because I work hard. And it doesn't matter. And when someone does beat me, I'm going to be just as happy for them as I'm happy right now riding a 5-fight win streak. I'm more disappointed with myself with this last performance than I didn't even celebrate after this last win. I had a couple beers. I went home and watched the fight 100 times. Then I drove to the gym at 3 a.m, hit the bag, and passed out of the gym after this fight. Like, I know what I need to do to win. I know what I need to do to be at this highest level. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah. And Bellator will be calling Risen MMA already likes a lot of my posts on Instagram. I mean, I know people are watching. Chris Lytle, is a UFC vet, and he's been a high school wrestling coach of mine all throughout my career. He's been a coach of mine now. He's a commentator at the venue I fight for right now, who I hold a title for. Everything's in a row. I just got to make sure I keep my head on straight and I keep doing what I'm supposed to do. And then the world title's inevitable.
And the best thing is, like you said earlier, just win. Like the best. Yeah. You got to talk. You do have to talk the talk. Like I had Lyman Good on the podcast a few days ago. The dude who just knocked out Ben Saunders at UFC 2.
Yeah, man, good. That great work for him too, man. I love Ben. Ben's my guy, but man, I
had Lyman
hats off to him. Yeah.
And Lyman was like, I don't really do interviews, and I don't talk to people, but you kind of have to in this day and age. Yeah. You got to do interviews. You got to get your name out there.
Yeah, how are you going to get paid if you're not doing interviews? You know what I mean? That's how I feel. Definitely. I just turned my Wi-Fi off, by the way, so if my connection gets a little crappy for me, let me know.
All right, I'll let you know. But, we'll just run through a couple of quick real topics here. But definitely on the coaches thing, you kind of agree with me on the Jason Perillo and
Yeah. I think Dwayne used to get slept on, and I think when that alpha male bullshit happened, I think a lot of guys had some negative opinions about Dwayne just because of how Uriah and everyone painted it. But, I think a lot of people understand now how it really went after the Ultimate everything happened. I think true colors got shown. I think people got to see how really cool, relaxed, and actually just genuine Dwayne is. I mean, dude, there's no one cooler in this world than Dwayne Ludwig. I'm telling you right now. Coolest motherfucker you will ever meet in your life. If you ever have the pleasure of talking to a man, you'll understand what I mean. But I agree with you. One of the best coaches in the best striking coach in the world.
I was Team TJ from the get-go, and a lot of people talk about Cody knocking him out. I said TJ would beat him the first time, and then when they rematched, or I said TJ would beat him the first time, and I said TJ would beat him the second time. That's a bad matchup for Cody.
Yeah, it is, man. And Cody just he's a little too stubborn. He doesn't want to evolve yet, and hopefully he learned from this. Even Professor Ludwig, went over and told him. After the fight, he said, hey, man, I think this is what you need to work on, and I think you can still be, a world-level fighter, but you got some fundamental flaws that you need to fix, you know what I mean? And that wasn't Dwayne being a dick. That was him being truthful and honest, because he cares about Cody. Dwayne literally cares about any martial artist on this earth. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're a martial artist, Dwayne Ludwig he cares about you.
Yeah, which is what you want from your coach. There's a great relationship, but there's a very secret and special relationship between fighter and coach that you have to have. But another thing that's breaking, of course, right now and also going around is Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell 3. Now, they're both older. Tito said that after this fight, win or lose, I'm done, I'm retired. Chuck says he wants to fight more people after this. First off, what's your prediction? Who do you got? You think Tito finally gets a W? Because Chuck is 2-0 against him so far.
Man, I don't know, man. The only reason I'm happy with this fight is because they're both at this age. And you know what I mean? Let them get paid. Let's see what happens. I think it's just going to be a fun, cool throwback fight to watch two legends get after it. With the prediction, literally, I think I want to pull Chuck. But then again, it's like if Tito just realizes all he has to, dude, it's just there's so many factors now. You know what I mean? It's not 2000 as Mac Miller would say, it's not 2009 no more. You know what I mean?
I tweeted out yesterday, and I firmly believe this. Chuck Liddell will never lose to Tito Ortiz at anything. If they play baseball, Chuck will win. If they fight, Chuck will win. If they play volleyball, Chuck will win. Like I'm going Chuck Liddell just based on that, on the fact that I don't see Tito beating Chuck at anything.
Right. I like it. I like that. That makes me feel. I hope so. That's what I hope. I love Chuck. I love Tito. Tito's, you know what I mean.
Legend.
Tito's
Two legends.
yeah, legend. He's a goofball in his own right.
But they said they took the price tag. It was $50, and they took it down to $40. It was $50, and they brought it down to $40.
They're doing a Black Friday sale too. If you buy it on Black Friday, it's only $20.
Oh, so they're trying to, and I seen a report where Tito says that it has to do at least 200,000 pay-per-view buys, or they won't make hardly nothing. And in today's market, you know the pay-per-views, that is not doing 200K. I don't care what anybody says. If this does 125K, they'll be lucky.
Yeah, I haven't even seen any promotion for it, honestly. Besides, like what you know,
weird press conference. Did you see the weird press conference yesterday?
I didn't even care to watch it.
It was so awkward. Oscar De La Hoya was he was calling Chuck and like Chuck Liddell. He was calling him Chuck Liddell. He would come out and he's like, "Give it up for UFC legend Chuck Liddell," and I can't wait to see Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's going over no 200K. I don't think it's scratching the surface of 200K.
I don't believe so either.
It might shock me. It might shock us both. Watch it pull 500,000 pay-per-view buys.
I would shit its head.
But obviously, that's big news so far. And a huge story in the MMA media, which Dana absolutely refused and said is bullshit, is the possibility of Conor McGregor fighting Donald Cerrone. First off, do you like that fight? And is that a winnable fight for Conor? Because we all know Conor needs a win. Conor needs a win bad.
It is one of the most winnable fights for Conor. I mean, stylistically, if you look at history and you look at Cowboy's track record, that's the worst fight for Cowboy really on paper. Someone that's going to trash talk, get in his head, piss him off, a long-rangey southpaw, you know what I mean? That's a counter fighter. I mean, that's just, it sounds all bad for Cowboy on paper. I mean, and then you got to think Cowboy, you know, historically has horrible weight cuts down to 5. You know, I mean, but also again, Cowboy, if Cowboy shows up, it's going to be a fucking fun fight. But I think if Donald shows up, we're just, you know, I don't know. It's definitely a winnable fight for Conor. That's for sure. I just don't know. I don't know if it sells what Conor wants it to sell. Is my problem with that.
Right. I've said before that I thought they should do Conor Anthony Pettis, because to give you got to give someone, and I'm not saying an easy fight, because Anthony Pettis is by far an easy fight, and so is Nate Diaz, and so is Justin Gaethje, and so is everybody. Like even if they Cowboy. If Cowboy shows up, Conor has been susceptible to leg kicks in the back, and Cowboy kicks like a fucking mule. So that could be one of those, like you said, which Cowboy shows up to fight Conor. But you got to be careful with this next one, Conor, because if Conor loses, you're taking him. He doesn't have that aura anymore. You know, that Conor McGregor aura. He lost to Khabib, but that's nothing to hang your hat on. Everybody loses to Khabib. Khabib beats everybody at 155. He's undefeated. And he lost to Floyd. Nothing to be ashamed of. That's Floyd's sport. You're not a boxer, you're an MMA fighter. But I think with Conor, you got to be careful. I think you got to be super careful with this next Conor McGregor fight.
I agree. You don't want to make it look like you're hand-feeding him an opponent. You know what I mean? You can't throw him another Dennis Seaver. That's not fair.
Yeah.
And that's not going to sell what it needs to anymore. You're not going to get away with that. So you're at a crossroads with him. You throw him Donald, it kind of makes sense. One's coming off a win against, you know, a top maybe 15 opponent. Conor's coming off, you know, and then Donald hasn't even been at 55 in over a year. I mean, there's other fights that make more sense, I feel like, for both guys. I think what would make a lot of sense right now, money-wise, pay-per-view-wise, everything, is Conor Diaz 3.
For sure.
I mean, let them run that back. It was fucking ginormous pay-per-view. Tony Ferguson, Habib on the same card. and then let that shit sort itself out. You got your next fight, you know what I mean? You got, and then loser can fight loser, winner can fight winner. I mean,
and then you got Dustin Poirier in there too. You can throw Dustin Poirier in the mix. You can throw. There's a whole lot of pieces you could just toss in there for fun fights.
And then we kind of got a bracket right now anyway, because then we got Gaethje Pettis, and then we got Lee LaQuinta too. Yep. I mean, it's all about to sort itself out. We just got to see what happens to Khabib and Conor with the whole Nevada State Athletic Commission bullshit.
Yeah, I don't remember, though, going back to Cowboy and Mike Perry. I'm a huge fan of Mike Perry and a huge fan of Cowboy. I don't remember a time, and I've watched MMA forever, I do not remember a fight where I was more happy to see the outcome. Like, when Donald armbarred him, that was a very classic MMA moment. The 25th anniversary in Denver, Donald's hometown. And then right after that, you had the insane Korean zombie Yair Rodriguez elbow, arguably the greatest come from behind knockout ever in MMA history.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Definitely.
I'd say so. That was insane.
Top 1 or top 2 for sure, knockouts. But I'm going to let you get off after this last topic here. Well, you want to do one more topic before we get off here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Before we do this, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the interview, my man. It's a pleasure and an honor.
Yeah, and you said you were training this morning. Where's your gym? Shout out your gym real quick.
Yeah, my gym is Circle City Martial Arts and Fitness. We're located in Indianapolis, Indiana. We are the only 10th Planet and Ang location in Indiana. Come check us out if you hear this and you're around the area.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, there's been a lot of news going on, and I tweeted this the other day about MMA is my life. Like, I have multiple MMA interviews. I watch between 10 and 20 hours of fights a week. I mean, just multiple hours of viewing fights, viewing interviews, asking people to come on my podcast, booking dates, booking times, and this latest news with Tekashi 6ix9ine has took over my life. I went down the rabbit hole because I'm not only a fan of Tekashi 6ix9ine, but if you think of all the shit that's happened in the past couple of months and even the past year, it's insane. And for the people that don't know, Tekashi 6ix9ine was arrested by the feds. They picked him up. They picked him up on Saturday, actually. A lot of people, I don't know if you know this, but they arrested him on Saturday and said that we want to help you, that we're booking you for your protection because your ex-manager, Sade Treyway, was planning on having him murdered. Treyway was going to have 6ix9ine killed, and the FBI got Treyway on a wiretap talking about it, and then took him to the FBI headquarters to help him. So Tekashi 6ix9ine says, I don't want your help, and goes home, and then the very next morning they bust him. So first off, do you follow? I asked you this off air, but now that we're on air, do you like his music? You said you like some of it. So
yeah, man. So I used to not mess with it at all, right? But then this April, I went out to HQ to train with Professor Ludwig, and I stayed at the Fighter House, and I met this fighter there, Raheem, and Raheem was this dope ass dude, right? And he showed me this song, Gotti Gotti.
That's a dope song.
Man, did I not fuck with that the whole time I was in Colorado, right? Training at Professors, we're jamming it, just flowing, feeling it, sparring. And I mean, dude, that shit just got stuck in my head. So then I started listening to a few more songs. Some of them's a little too just in-your-face hype, vulgar for me. Because I love hip-hop, I love rap, but I also love lyricism, and I love the art that comes with it. Because I actually flow a little bit myself, and I freestyle, you know what I mean? I have some fun. I'm a quick thinker, so I feel like that's why I'm good at freestyling.
Yeah.
But, so I appreciate rap and hip-hop and music through that point. So some of it, I just, you know what I mean? But I love the songs that he actually takes his time in as a lyric, you know what I mean? And Gotti Gotti. So yeah, what I'm basically trying to say is I do enjoy his music a lot.
There is some songs that are harder. Like he's that fucking gangster club banger rapper. He's in
your face.
Yeah, but a lot of people got onto him about saying nigga. Like, you're a Mexican, you can't say nigga. And he's like, I'm not Post Malone, I can say nigga, in a song.
Yeah.
It's right. A lot of people nowadays, they don't want to hear it, but I mean, if it's a word, it's not like if he's singing a song like his song says it every other word. If I'm singing it compared to an African American singing it, there's no difference at all.
No, there's not. Yeah, kind of like when Kendrick pulled that girl up on stage, and then right when she said it, he like called her. That was some hoe shit on Kendrick Lamar's part. And if that was me, I would have told him right to his face. I would have been like, "Yo,
That's not
really?"
right.
Yeah, I'd have been like, I'm still saying it. It's not, I'm not using it as a derogatory term towards someone. I'm singing it. You know,
Yeah.
I totally agree with you there.
Yeah, it's the way you use it.
It's fucking 2019. It's a word. If people are really, if this is the most heartfelt pussy. I mean, everyone's being so soft nowadays, man. Like, think about if we were having this conversation 30 years ago. People would tell us to freaking rub some dirt on our freaking. Yeah, get over it, dude. Rub some dirt on your feelings. Like,
Yeah.
quit being a baby.
So all the news broke. First off, a lot of people don't know too. Before the news broke about Tekashi 6ix9ine about the feds, did you hear the stuff about his girlfriend the day before that?
I did not, man.
So Friday night, this story broke that Tekashi 6ix9ine, he fired his agency, he fired Treyway, he fired all of his friends, he fired everybody they used to work for because they stole money from him. And Tekashi he's got his baby mama Sarah, who he has a baby with. And he was 6ix9ine's fucking with this new hoe. He's with this new bitch, and apparently 6ix9ine punched Sarah in the mouth and split her lip, and she like took a picture of her lip and sent it to this booking agency. And this booking agency sent the story to TMZ. Like, you can go to YouTube and type in Tekashi 6ix9ine baby mama lip, and it'll come up. And that was supposed to be like worldwide news. Tekashi 6ix9ine, domestic violence. And then, literally like 2 hours later, he gets arrested by the feds. So we should be talking about domestic violence. Instead, we're talking about how he's got 32 years to life in prison charge. And I've got just a few things what they got him charged with. They got him charged with racketeering, which is the RICO, if anybody doesn't know.
I think you might have muted me.
Oh.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Can you hear?
I might have muted him on accident. Can you hear me again?
Oh, 1 second. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you. Sorry. I don't know what just happened.
We might have just glitched out a second.
Yeah, I think so.
But
what were you saying?
Yeah,
you were saying it was supposed to be worldwide news that he was abusing her, but then got picked up.
And then I don't know if you know what the official charges are, but it's racketeering, which is the RICO Act, where it's like the old shit they used to get gangsters and mobsters with. Basically, they're saying he was paying for or distributing drugs or having his friends do it. They got him for weapons possession, firearms. They searched his apartment when he was in Dubai shooting the music video Stupid, and they found a machine gun or a machine pistol in his apartment. And apparently they dusted it and did all that shit. They're charging him with racketeering, RICO, weapons possession, robberies, assaults. They've basically got him with enough shit to convict him for 20 years.
Yeah, so they got him with racketeering and what else?
Weapons possession, RICO, basically running a criminal organization. They're basically blaming him for there's a set called the Nine Trey Bloods in New York, and he's always screamed Treyway, Treyway. Treyway really isn't a thing, it's just a slang term, you know, like nigga, yeah. It's a slang term, and they're basically saying that he is affiliated with the Nine Trey Bloods, and this indictment goes all the way back to 2013 when he was a 16-year-old kid, and he is 22 now, and this shit goes back to 5 years before he was even famous.
That's insane, dude.
And they got it wrote down here that Tekashi and Treyway, his ex-manager, robbed rival gang members at gunpoint. They're saying that he was not only paying for shit, but actually doing some street shit, like shooting people, robbing, selling meth, selling cocaine, selling heroin. It's just crazy.
Oh, I'm sure he was.
It's crazy.
Once you come into that kind of money, you start investing it on whatever's going to make that money. Yeah.
And especially him being from a street, like he was from Brooklyn, he's from New York, and grew up poor, grew up on the block, and that's who he was affiliated with. It's crazy to me that it all come full circle.
Dude. Yeah, if you think about it, same thing happened to Aaron Hernandez. You know what I mean?
I'm a diehard Patriot fan. I know the whole story.
Yo, me too. Go Pats! Woo! I'm from New England. I'm from Boston. I'm from Providence, Rhode Island. So
Oh, I'm a
I
diehard
love the
Patriot
Pats.
fan. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback to ever touch a football.
Greatest ever, born, lived, raised, ever.
Definitely.
Doing an interview.
But about that too is, it seems like in Dummy Boy, you probably don't like follow him super close because you said you just listened to a couple of songs, but he's got a new album dropping the 23rd called Dummy Boy, and it could very possibly be the last album we hear or see from Tekashi 6ix9ine for 20 years.
Oh yeah, dude. And then who's gonna even remember him in 20? You know what I mean? It's gonna be like.
And I read a report this morning that he's not in, like, Bill Cosby right now is in protective custody. He's by himself. He's, like, you know what I mean? He's separated. Nobody can get to him.
Yeah, Tekashi's not.
He's in general fucking population.
And he's known as a child molester, and that's not good in prison.
Yeah, even if you know the story behind it, people, they don't care about the details.
No. It's what's on your papers.
Yeah.
It's what's on your paperwork.
They don't have the time to sit and ask you what happened.
No.
But it's crazy to me, like all that, like you said about full circle. It's, you got famous from repping gang shit and blood, Treyway, blood, Crip shit, and it's the exact same thing that made you a millionaire, and it's the exact same thing that's got you in prison.
Did you see that thing with Fat Joe, where Fat Joe was warning him?
Yeah.
Dude, and you can tell it by Tekashi's face. He's just kind of ignoring.
He didn't want to hear it.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Whatever. You're not nobody. Like, you had all the warnings, man.
But I definitely think that it's some pussy shit, everybody bragging about it, and like, you should never celebrate another man's demise.
Loss. Yeah. No, that's hoe shit. That's what losers do. That's what other losers do.
Yeah, I would never, like, if your next fight, if you lost and I had you on the podcast again, I wouldn't even bring it up, you know, because I wouldn't even, that's something you shouldn't, first of all, you wouldn't want to talk about it, so, but you know, obviously, but that's something like people laughing, ha, you're in prison, motherfucker. That's crazy.
No, it's one thing, you know, if you lose, make a mistake, something, you know what I mean? It's one thing if you can't talk, I'd talk about it, no problem. But it's another thing when people start celebrating someone's demise or a failure. You know what I mean? It's that's just really weird. That's a really weird thing to do for a human being to celebrate another human being's, you know, downfall. Anything,
especially jail. Like, you know, I wouldn't wish jail on my worst enemy.
No, I wouldn't wish that. I've been, and I don't wish that upon anyone.
Definitely, man. But I'm gonna let you get back to your day here, and I thank you so much for your time, man. This was actually a pretty good episode. I'm glad I got somebody to talk some MMA and some hip hop.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, I appreciate it, man. It was a pleasure being on. Keep in touch. Don't be a stranger. Have me back on anytime, man. I'd love to be on.
That's what I was gonna say. I'll hit you up when it's uploaded, because it might take me a couple hours to upload because I'm running off Wi-Fi. But as soon as it uploads, I'll tweet you and at you on it, and we'll get you on here again, man.
Hell yeah, brother. It's been a much appreciated. Fight news coming soon. Much love, man. Pompey. Ian Pompey Pomper.
Yes, sir. Be careful, man.
Yes, sir. Be smooth, player.
Ian. You can find him on Twitter at #1. Like, literally, you go to Twitter, it's just a big #1, and that's Ian. Undefeated amateur MMA fighter. Watch out for him. He's on the come up for sure. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm thinking about doing a Tekashi 6ix9ine breakdown episode of the whole situation. And shout out UFC, new UFC Reebok hoodie. Shout out Reebok, even though they fucking suck. They're with the UFC, so I support them. Quick breakdown of all of it. Conor beats Cowboy. Good fight. Watch out for Ian. Chuck beats Tito at anything. Golf, hunting, security, fighting, eating, getting old. Chuck beats Tito at every fucking thing. And keep your prayers with Tekashi 6ix9ine right now. If you're not a fan of Tekashi 6ix9ine, fuck you. And if you're not a fan of me, but all of a sudden because I like Tekashi 6ix9ine or because I am a fan of Tekashi 6ix9ine, fuck you right back too. It's not about the music, which obviously I love his music, and I like that kind of music. Lil Wayne, Gucci Man, 6ix9ine, you know, but that's just my preference of music. Everybody has their own preference of music. It's about the guy. He's very misunderstood guy, which is very. He come from nothing. He could be your neighbor. Like, he could be the guy living next to you, and some bullshit happened to him as a young kid, grew up to be what he is, rich and famous, songs, millions of dollars, and you wind up right back where you started, in the gutter. But thoughts and prayers with 6ix9ine. Everybody who supports him will continue to support him no matter what. I just hope that he's able to get bail, and we'll figure all this shit out. But what a fucking crazy week in MMA and hip-hop. I didn't touch on the Rachel Ostovich situation. If you all know, if you follow MMA, she was supposed to fight Paige Van Zant on their debut card on ESPN, I believe. ESPN2, ESPN Plus, one of those. And her husband, I guess, beat her with his fist, or an object of something crushed her orbital bone, and she's hospitalized, and I'm sure going to be charges pressed and arrests and all kinds of bullshit. But the whole 6ix9ine shit has took over the news lately. You know, you go to Twitter or YouTube, and that's the only thing. 6ix9ine, 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 Shawty Treyway, Feds. I mean, that's the only thing you see on Twitter and on YouTube for the last few days is Tekashi 6ix9ine news. But once again, I support him. You should too. Anyway, this is Hank with Smoke Break MMA. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Check out Ian on Twitter. See you guys.